so that we can all live together harmoniously. And that's where the boundary setting had to start. And at that point, early on, every time I even raised my voice a little bit or accidentally put my hand above my waist level, she cringed, and I thought, I've got to do this really gently, but I've got to get the message across that these are acceptable behaviors and these are not.
We've been working with the dog now for 2 months. Things look great. When you first meet with them, one of the questions I'm sure they're going to ask you, I've always asked, how long will it take before I can see some results with my dog? Any way to answer that at all?
I would say that if the person is willing to work with their dog, say, twice a day for 10 or 15 minutes, and if they're patient and if they're consistent, they will start to see results probably within 2 or 3 days. And if that bond is there. One of the ways that I look at working with dogs is that if I give them what they want and what they need, then I have every right to ask for what I want in return. That's a fair trade. So if I provide the dog with, healthy, nutritious food, if I give them plenty of exercise, if I get them out there, out and about, and we do walks or hikes in different areas so they're not bored with the same old thing every morning or whatever, if I give them a good, balanced life, then I can ask for behavior that will help me have a good, balanced life living with them.
Wonderful. Let's talk about you.
Well, I live in a beautiful, of course I'm biased, but I live in a beautiful part of the country in western North Carolina in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I love it.
What were the things that most surprised you along the way from just having an idea that you want to work with dogs to really succeeding?
I think what surprised me the most is that people sometimes assumed that a puppy would come out of its mother's womb knowing proper behavior, like a baby comes out of a human mother's womb knowing please and thank you. They don't. Those are things that caring, responsible adults teach human babies and dogs. They have to learn that stuff. I think the most important gift you can give a dog or a child is the gift of time.
What is the lesson that you think most important for a person who wants to become a dog trainer to learn?
One lesson I think would be patience. You've got to figure out how to convey the information without getting upset yourself or without frightening the dog. And again, you have to have several tools in your toolbox. If this particular thing does you might read a book that talks about using treats to train a dog. And yes, some dogs are very food motivated. Other dogs, however, are not. So if you are going to be working, for example, with a dog who just isn't food motivated, even if you've got a high grade treat like a piece of cheese or something, some dogs don't care about that. They need something different, and you've got to be able to figure it out. So be patient with the dog and be patient with yourself.
How do you relax when you're not training dogs?
I love to go for long, fast walks and hikes, and I do a lot of reading, and I treat myself to movies to watch at night, and those are, if I'm going to do that, it's me, the bowl of popcorn, and the movie, and everything else is, in the background.
What's your favorite way to work out, even if it's only a little bit?
My favorite way to work out?
Yeah.
Hiking.
Hiking, great.
I probably hiked literally thousands of miles when I lived in Arizona with my dog. And we were very fortunate to live in an area that was surrounded by Forest Service land, and there was a riding stable down the road who had put all these trails in. So from our back door, we could literally, within 5 minutes, be on any one of, at least 6 different trails.
Right. What's your favorite word?
Well, that's an easy answer. Dog.
Okay.
I have my vanity plate on my car says, "Dog is my co-pilot." Okay.
Great. What is your least favorite word?
I think one of the hardest things that I've ever encountered with people is, and I just had a conversation the other day with a guy who I could tell was on the fence about whether or not he was going to get an Aussie. And I said to him, getting a dog is a big commitment, and it's a change in your life, and you're going to have more expenses. And I said, "Are you sure, you want to cross that line?" And he said, "I'm thinking about it." And I said, "Well, if you're not sure, probably, maybe one of the things you could do is make an agreement with the breeder and say, can I test drive this dog for a week or 10 days or something without making a commitment?" Because it is a big change and it's a big responsibility. And I believe we owe dogs all the care that they have given us over the centuries. We owe it to them today.
Do you prefer talking or texting on your phone?
Talking or texting?
Yes.
Talking, absolutely. My keyboard is way too small and I can text, but, it's a pain.
If you were to get a tattoo tomorrow, what would it be?
It would be
a dog.
I have a favorite. Well, there's a favorite picture that I have of my dog. She was a senior, not ancient. I'm looking at it right now on the wall of my office, and she's lying in her backyard. I would get that tattoo of her lying in the backyard.
What turns you on and what turns you off?
I think one of the things that really turns me on is when a person or people get it. They're all of a sudden they're motivated, they're excited, they're passionate, they can do it, they're gonna do it. What turns me off is probably people who are unwilling to maybe examine some of the reasons that they're unwilling, unable. They keep coming up with the same rhetoric about why it won't work, and they don't see the glass as half full. It's always half empty.
Right. What's your favorite breakfast?
Oh, I have this bread that I love, and I make one piece of toast of that with my favorite jam, and then I always have some fruit, and that can be anything from, applesauce to bananas to, mixed berries, and then a really good cup of tea. That's my favorite breakfast.
Now the most important question of the day. What is your favorite ice cream?
Oh, no. I don't know if I can answer just one. I have to pick just one? Oh, no. Oh, boy. Let's see. I think if I had to pick just one, which is very difficult, mocha chocolate chip.
Oh, you got it. you just coffee, chocolate, and chips. How could you beat that for anything? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
And then the other one would be like Cherry Garcia. Oh, I have to admit, I have eaten entire containers of Cherry Garcia in one sitting.
We will have to meet at an ice cream store one night and just pick out. That's all. This has been just enjoyable for me. But before we go, we have to do a little advertising for you because you've been so kind to give us some time. Best way for our listeners to talk to you, whether it be phone, email, going on the computer, a blog, what have you, and just tell us who you are and where they can get in touch with you.
Probably the best way to get in touch with me is email. And I have to tell you this funny story about how I got this email address. When Google decided to offer Gmail, I was a little apprehensive at first, and I thought, oh, they're probably going to charge for this, because back in the day, I mean, you had to pay for, email. So I didn't jump in right away. And then I was assured that, no, there's no charge. It's free. It's, go for it. So I decided I wanted to be dogmom@gmail.com. However, I had waited too long, and that one was already taken. So by default, I became dogmom7, the number 7, at gmail.com. And I figured, well, that's 7 is a lucky number anyway. Hey, this is great. I can be dogmom7.
Okay.
So if people would like to get in touch with me, they can email me at dogmom7, the number 7, at gmail.com.
Thanks for listening to Our Town Live, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a review.